Yeah, there's construction everywhere.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
So I think we got about a half hour before this gets real loud.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we may be at a point where going to the upstairs makes sense.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, we are live and everything's working, so we're good to go, Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Annette. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Administration Committee meeting. First off is roll call. So Jennifer, if you'd please call the roll.
Curran,
Present via Zoom, Niles Township.
Meeks,
Present via Zoom, Ben Charter Township.
Volrath, Dave. Oh, you're on mute now. Yeah, you're on mute. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you are present in Coloma Township. Okay, I'm thinking maybe he can't hear us. Werfel?
Present, Royalton Township.
All right, we have 4 present.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from April the 15th, 2021.
Commissioner Meeks make that motion to approve the minutes.
Werfel will second.
Okay, thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, Jennifer, would you please call the roll?
Curran,
Yes.
Meeks,
Yes.
Volrath, still having audio issues, and Werfel.
Yes.
So we have 3 yays, 1 audio issue.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Then it looks like we have a list of resolutions, 6 of them, as a matter of fact. The first one ending in 5216, acceptance of the annual marine safety grant. Who's doing that, Jennifer or Annette?
There we go. I was just gonna go over those with you. Does that work?
Thank you, Annette.
Go ahead.
Okay. And it looks like we lost Commissioner Velrath. I think he's maybe gonna try and re-sign in. Just so you know. Okay, yeah, so 82105-216 is it's just an acceptance of the resolution or acceptance of the grant that we applied for earlier back in February. We received bids in the amount of $97,000. It's for our marine safety program with the Marine Division of the Sheriff's Department.
Okay, are there any questions from the committee members on that resolution? Okay, if the committee members don't mind, I'd like to divvy these up for reporting. So Don, do you mind taking that first one, reporting out on the marine safety grant? Don, are you okay? You okay with reporting out on that one?
I will answer you, Jim, but I was on mute. Yes, I'll do it.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, Annette, the next one.
No, you're on mute, Annette.
Man, I am on the struggle bus today. Okay. A2105221, and that is a contract with Buchanan Township, and it is for additional police protection during the annual Red Blood event. This is a renewal of what we've done in the past and what we've also done with other police agencies when they requested additional coverage in their respective areas.
Okay, any questions on that resolution? Okay, Don, would you report out on that one as well, please?
Which one was that, Jim?
That's 5221 Buchanan Township Police Protection for Redbud.
Redbud. Okay, I got that.
Okay, thank you, Don.
Okay.
Okay, and that next one?
I think Commissioner Ballrath has rejoined. Do we want to check, do a mic check there, Dave?
Audio check, Dave. Are you there? Hello, Dave.
I had him for a brief moment.
We lost video on them also.
Okay, Dave, I've got.
If Dave's a cyborg, I can hear him.
So he just texted saying he's got no sound or video.
So we can maybe get to call him maybe
Yeah.
and work through it. Okay, do you want me to go forward?
Yes, Annette, why don't you go ahead and continue on, please?
Okay. A 2105224. This was a project that was a capital project that was scheduled in the budget, and it was for upgrades to the digital court recorder systems that are used in the courthouse. It's with the same company that the originals were purchased from and that we've been using. And it's for both software and hardware upgrades. We've included in the resolution the bid that we were given, and then the project number there, just so that you can relate back to that. This was trial court administrator as well as IS worked together on this one, so we're bringing it out of admin because it's very related to the courts.
Okay, are there any questions? Okay, Julie? Julie, would you please report out on that one, please? 5224.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, next one, 5227, Annette?
Yes, 5227 is very similar to the Marine grant, only this one's for emergency management. You approved a resolution to apply for a grant. In February, we received that grant, and this is the acceptance of that and authorizing the chair to sign the agreement, the grant agreement.
Okay, any questions? Julie, would you please take that one as well?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, Annette, next one, 5230.
Yep, 5230 is the donation that was specifically requested to go into our spay and neuter fund for the animal control. They've been doing some legal stuff on this for a little bit of a while. We were made aware of it, that the donation will be coming. The properties that this individual instructed to be sold, and then the proceeds were to go to that fund. And so this is an acceptance of that donation, and then just a expression of gratitude to her family and those that worked on finalizing this, so that we can get this put in the amount. So the amount is $10,428.38, and it's being directed that goes in the spending of your fund.
Okay, are there any questions? Okay, I'll report on that one. And that next one, 5231.
Yep, so this is a standard resolution format that we've used in the past when a township asks for a speed study to be conducted. This one's from Three Oaks Township, and it was on a specific portion of a road. They would like to have that speed study done, and what will happen then is once that's completed, the recommendation will come back to the full board in the form of another resolution that will then put the traffic control order in place. depending on what those results are.
Okay, any questions on that resolution from the committee members? Okay, I'll report out on that one. And then we have a board reappointment to the jury board. Are you able to move forward with that, Annette?
Well, I guess what I'd like to do is, so this individual's been on the jury board, and as part of your process, we reach out to the current board members, ask them if they would like to be reappointed. If they do, then we come back to the parent committee and ask for a reappointment. It just happens that this one has an official statute attached to it, so I do need the recommendation from the circuit judges in the judicial court. I have received some of them. I don't have all of them. But I guess what I'd like to do, if we could, is that if we have your concurrence to move forward with the recommendation of the circuit judges, then once I get that, I'd like to finalize that on the board agenda to follow through, or to push that through. If you don't want to do that, then basically what it would entail is me coming back to you and go, okay, I have the judge's approval now, can I move forward? So I was just trying to work on a time to move the time frame up a little bit if I can.
Okay, Annette, is there a time deadline? I mean, is there urgency on this, or can you work through the process?
I mean, her term actually expired at the end of April. This board only does meet once a year, so I don't know exactly when that meeting is held, but I mean, certainly we could wait if you want me to come back to admin at whatever your next meeting is, once I have all of the judges' concurrence.
Okay, I guess my response would be, is there any reason why we can't do that? Any reason why we can't follow the process?
Sure, I can wait. We may just need to move up a admin meeting. You're just not meeting on a regular basis right now, so I just don't know when your next meeting is going to be. The regular process was, developed when you guys were meeting every week, so.
Okay. And we have to have an admin meeting in order to approve that, correct?
I mean, yes, that would be the procedure, that the administration committee, as the parent committee, would approve the recommendation to then go to the full board.
Okay, so essentially what you're asking us to do is to go ahead and make the reappointment contingent upon one of the circuit judges making that appointment or reappointment. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, do any of the committee members have an issue with that? Is everybody okay with doing it in that order?
I do a bit, because the actual policy reads for board appointments is that they should be posted to the public and all can apply, including the reappointment. And I really think we need to start following that process. Unless this jury board is meeting in May or June, I think we really need to do that, and because then we've got time. I get it if it's one time a year and it's coming up and it's going to be in May, then we got to get moving. But since we don't have the circuit court either, that recommendation, I think we should make sure we're following the policy.
I agree with you, Judy. We can follow the process. Unless there's extreme emergency. It's not.
Okay. Okay, so you can understand, Annette, the thought of the committee, and go ahead and follow the process then.
Can I just have a moment to review this policy?
Yeah, because that was going to be my follow-up question is, I know I've participated in a number of reappointments, and I thought that was following the policy. So I guess I'd like a little clarification on that.
number 2, or I'm sorry, letter B, reappointments. Reappointment applications will be reviewed by the parent committee and may be recommended for reappointment to the full BOC. Reappointment will be considered based on attendance, active engagement, and input received. In the event of an expired term, members shall continue to serve until reappointed or a new member is appointed. In the event of no reappointment, then the position will be considered vacant and applications will be sought.
Okay, under the regular board appointment policy, that one, what does that one say? Because that's the one that I think Brian and Bob Harrison and I went through.
Appendix D of the bylaws, of your bylaws, is the board appointment, is the board appointment section that I was following.
Okay, Julie, you're looking up something for a
I'm
response.
looking up appendix D, and I guess under C, the next one, it does say that vacancies will be posted.
Okay, so we're okay then? We're following the policy?
No, the very next one in the appendix D, item number C, it says vacancies will be filled in a timely manner. Vacancies will be posted on the county website and a press release will be prepared. So it goes on to talk about that as well. So I don't know. I mean, nothing says that everything is a lifetime appointment, and that's kind of how we're treating these reappointments. And I think we really need to review that and talk about that then as a board or a committee.
Following the policy.
I'm following the reappointment portion of this policy. This is a reappointment. So if it was a vacancy, then yes, we put it out there, we post it for 2 weeks, we accept applications. With vacancies, I still come back to the parent committee first, and then the parent committee makes the option of whether they would like to send a recommendation to the full board, or whether they would like to have interviews done. Then an interview committee is convened, and then the interview committee is the one that would make any kind of recommendation. So this is considered a reappointment. So with reappointments, that's what we do. We come back to the parent committee and ask if they would like to move the reappointment forward. So that's the process I was following.
I guess I understand that, but I also feel like if an appointment has expired, it's a vacancy. So I think it could be read either way.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Hang on just a second. Sorry. Dave's trying to get back in. Okay, Mr. Ballrats, we have you? Yeah, that's weird, we're not having this sound. Sorry, Dwight's working with me. All right. He muted himself again, so oh, there he goes.
Okay, is Commissioner Volrath able to hear us?
Dwight, can he hear us? He can't hear us. No, he can't. All right, I'm sorry. Do you want to move forward?
Okay, Annette, I'm just wondering, is Dave able to hear us and know what's going on?
Oh. Yeah, he said, Dwight said he cannot hear us.
He cannot hear us.
I don't think so, no.
Hey, Jim, Dave is talking right now with a member of our IS department. They're trying to fix his connection to the meeting. My recommendation is just continue moving along.
Okay, we will continue to move along. Okay, so as far as the reappointment to the jury board, we've been following the process. It's Julie, you're just saying that instead of every time it's brought to us for a reappointment, we don't automatically reappoint. That you're saying that we should put it back out and see if anyone else wants to apply, correct?
Correct.
Okay, do you feel that way in this particular case?
I feel like that should be the policy, or that's what I had read, because the appointment actually has expired, or is about to expire. And, and again, if that's the policy of we're going to have lifetime appointments, if somebody is appointed and then they can be reappointed forever, then that's a completely different discussion than this particular person or this particular board. Yeah, we need to be able to get new people and let people into the inner circle, if you will, on these boards and commissions. Absolutely.
Okay, well, Julie, I can tell you from experience that we have in the past questioned reappointments, but it's really been on a case-by-case basis. There's been a reason or some information provided as to why we may not want to just reappoint that individual. But like Annette read the criteria, if they are meeting all the criteria, they're an active board member that wants to be reappointed, unless we as a committee have something other than that, we go ahead and make the reappointment. So in this particular case, I think it's only a one year, one time a year meeting. This individual's been on there for a while. I guess I don't see any point on this particular appointment. We'll take a look at the ones in the future, but for this particular appointment, to hold it up, to go ahead and make the reappointment, if everybody's okay with that. Is that okay with you, Julie?
I'm a no on this one.
Okay, you would rather us put it out?
Yeah.
Okay. Don, what do you think?
I'm a no also. I'd rather follow policy. I mean, if there's certain circumstances that we don't like attendance and things like that, but I think we need to follow policy. At the moment we got a policy, which is not.
Okay, technically, Don, we are following the policy as far as the reappointment goes. Now, because of the time lapse for that particular position, I think because of the virtual meetings and the COVID and everything, it's kind of thrown everybody a little bit off kilter. So some of these appointments have expired, and that's, or whoever is in charge of that is catching up. So I guess I don't look at that as an expired position. It still falls within the realm of the reappointment, which we are following the policy on the reappointment. So I guess my question is, on this particular position to the jury board, do you want us to go ahead and make the reappointment, or do you want us to post it as an open position?
as open.
I'm sorry, can I add here? So this specific appointment that you're making is actually a concurrence with the recommendation from the circuit court judges. That's what the statute says. So,
Currently don't have.
correct, I do not have it at this time.
They don't have it, so no.
Okay, so Julie, what you would like is to have that concurrence first before we make the reappointment, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Okay,
got it.
you got that, Annette?
Yep.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
So I just want to back up a second, just to be clear to the administration committee. My understanding is that staff has followed the policy. If the admin committee is asking for a rewrite of the policy, we just need to have a clear understanding of what admin is looking for in that rewrite, and we can then take a swing at drafting the rewrite.
That actually goes through, that would go through PHSC. That wouldn't be through administration.
Well,
Understood.
At this
I don't
particular,
know.
at this particular
In the
point,
lower left, where the audio button is,
Yeah,
the picture of the microphone.
Yep.
There should be like a little up arrow
yep.
next to it. If
Right.
you click that, that should let you choose a different
Dave, we can
microphone or
hear you.
speaker.
Okay, that's why I clicked on the array, microphone array, and
Okay.
nothing happened there, so.
You get no speaker options at all.
It says select a speaker and it's clicked same as system.
Can you mute him?
Is there any choices if you click?
All right, I need to.
Sorry, folks, we're having some technical difficulties today.
yeah,
Jumping back to the
Because I can hear myself on YouTube, so that's kind of cool. I'm part of the meeting today.
Cool. I wish I was.
But you still can hear me.
okay, I think we can,
I can see Jim's smiling face.
okay, we can hear you, Dave.
Yeah.
And there's, well, all the way at the bottom, it says audio options. I don't know if I've ever clicked that one.
We can hear you.
I'm trying. Are we good? If we're still on, so.
Yeah, so to the committee members, number one, I need to apologize to Commissioner Ballrath. I grabbed a cell phone and hit hang up just to stop the dual audio streams. So Dave, I apologize for the abrupt ending of that call. Back to the question, if the administration committee is looking for a rewrite of the policy, that's something that we can certainly work on and work to accomplish the goals. We would, as Annette noted, need to run that through PHS for that rewrite. If admin can offer some goalposts and provide guidance for exactly what you're looking for, that will certainly make the process easier.
Well, as I hear the conversation, we don't need a rewrite of the policy. What I think Commissioner Werfel is doing is saying, as part of the policy, that we don't need to just automatically reappoint. That we, as the admin committee, can go, no, we're not going to reappoint. We're going to repost it. I think that's the prerogative of the admin committee. And historically, we have not done that in the past, but that doesn't mean that we can't. We have done it on occasion. So I don't think it needs a policy rewrite. I think it's just a matter of the administration committee invoking that clause of the policy. So I don't think it's a policy rewrite. In this particular case, the committee is asking that the reappointment to the board be done after the judges have made their recommendation. And then we will handle future appointments on a case-by-case basis. Because I think I understand where Julie's coming from about reappointments, just not making them automatic so that they're appointed forever, in a sense. So I understand the intent, but I think in this particular case, I think we've got it handled. I think we're going about it the right way, and I don't think we need any policy changes in this regard.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I would add a caveat to that though, Jim, because I think this should be considered all of the appointments. And come the end of the year when we're doing mass reappointments, we need to be able to, as a county and as a board, these things need to be open to the public. So in Brian's question, that would mean that yes, PHSC, I think it would be appropriate for them to relook at that and to make determination if that's how it should go forward or not.
You mean as far as the reappointments go, the policy on reappointments?
Reappointments, and as a reappointment, technically a vacancy because it's an expired term. And are there, I understand where you're coming from, Annette, but are there term limits? Can you be reappointed again for a lifetime? Or at what point does that position then again reopen to a member of the public?
Well, it's always been my understanding that they're appointed as long as we appoint them.
So then that's considered lifetime appointments, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, as long as you're showing up to meetings and all of those things. And I guess I'm not good with that. The only place lifetime appointments are made is Supreme Court, so.
Okay. I don't know what happened, but I've got the large conference room keypad right in the middle of my screen. Can someone eliminate that?
Can you hear me, Jim?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dave.
Okay. I can see you on my computer and I can hear you on my phone.
Woohoo! You have success.
It shows that you're on mute.
Never works.
All right, Dave, I'm sorry, Jim, what are you seeing in your picture?
I'm sorry, say what?
What are you seeing in your picture of the conference room?
It says large conference connected, and I see the keypad.
I'm not sure why.
No, that's all I see. But anyway, okay. Moving forward, Annette, to the next item.
Yes, you wanted to make sure that you mentioned the sheriff funds distribution so that it was in the minutes.
Yeah, when I sign these distribution forms, I just like to have them put into the minutes of the administration committee. And so on May 10th of this year, I signed a distribution form from the Berrien Community Foundation for $281.54. And these were two separate condolence flower arrangements from the Berrien County Sheriff's Reserve Unit. So if we just get those into the minutes, Jennifer, I think that would be sufficient.
I will make sure that's in there.
Very good. Thank you. We're gearing up here for public comments. Is there anything else from Annette or Brian while you're seeking out public comment?
Yes. So one last thing that we were hoping to discuss was virtual versus in-person attendance. And I'm guessing today's admin meeting may have some of you feeling motivated to get back in person. At the staff level, we've been discussing what the options are, and we continue to navigate the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services health orders. So we are still facing a spacing requirement as well as some of the total gathering limit requirement. Put simply, if the board is desirous of getting back together for in-person meetings, The most practical solution is to look at either A, moving our meetings to the conference room adjacent to the health department on Napier, or B, waiting a couple of more weeks. We anticipate that the IT upgrades for the conference room at the administration building are likely to be installed and completed by the first or possibly second week of June. So those are both viable options. Both come with some upside and some downside. If we are to move the regular meetings on Thursdays out to the conference room on Napier, just understand that that has a real impact on staff's abilities to grab information, to quickly get things pushed out to the Board of Commissioners. And I can tell you that in my time here, not a Thursday goes by where we don't have staff running up and down the stairs grabbing materials for the board members. So that is something that will impact our ability to perform quick responses to the board. The upside to the conference room is that the IT equipment's in place and there's space to allow for the physical separation of the meeting attendees. If we are to wait until the IT upgrades occur for this room that we're currently in, that will allow us to easily continue with providing Zoom services. It will allow us to easily continue pushing the meetings out onto YouTube. So there's some upside and some downside. We're hoping to have a conversation with admin today about what you all think is the preferred way to proceed.
Okay, thoughts from the committee members?
The Commissioner Werfel, and I think if we, June, if we target June for getting back together, that gives people time to prepare and adjust and get ready for doing exactly that. And if that's the timing that you need, Brian, so that the conference room is ready there at the admin building, I think that would be totally, it seems like acceptable, but I don't know how the others feel.
Okay, in June, are you talking about going to the admin building or the conference room out to health department in June?
Was that question to Julie or was that question to Brian?
I think that question is to Julie.
Oh, I thought, Brian, you had said in June you'd be ready.
Okay. So to be clear, with the IT upgrades for the conference room at the administration building, it's going to greatly improve our ability to run Zoom meetings. It's going to improve the sound quality and then our ability to display information. It should open up some additional square footage for us, but we still have concerns about the physical separation. If we're going to bring the commissioners back to the administration building, we probably need to look at the hybrid model. The hybrid model where some of you are in the room and some are still participating via Zoom. If you want to get everyone back into the room, the conference room on Napier is probably our only way to accomplish that goal. And just to be clear, and this is the hard part for us, is we're still guessing, is it 3 feet separation or is it 6 feet separation? That is the big question mark that as we get closer to bringing you all back into one room, just in the last couple of days, the state of Michigan has recognized that for public schools, 3 feet of separation is now acceptable as opposed to the 6 foot standard that was in place. So that is just one more monkey wrench that's going to get thrown into this process.
And to meet throughout the community in a park, was that looked at all?
So we've discussed that option, and here's the downside. If we do that, we do not have the equipment, the staff, or the ability to stream the meeting. So if there is a desire to do an outside meeting, it's going to need to be with a whole lot of public notice that we're no longer streaming the meetings. And that's the major trade-off that your staff is concerned about, because we've been streaming these meetings for the better part of a year.
Question, Brian. What,
Yes, sir.
what about the wearing of masks? I mean, at the point where we get together, we don't have the 3 to 6 feet, but we prepare ourselves with masks. Would that help? I understand that with the administrator, we got everything there, right here at the admin building, administration, I should say, that we can get the things we need. It would be hectic, I know that, but the wearing of masks, there's some commissioners, I do believe, that can't get the shots. Can't get it because of their health. So we're still in the area at the point where we're around people that's not vaccinated. So I'm saying, will masks help us achieve some of our goals?
To answer your immediate question, yes, masks will help. But moreover, masks are going to be required for all of the public, including the commissioners, no matter which room we select.
Okay.
If you come into the building, you're going to have to wear a mask the entire time that you're here. And that's true for staff. It's true for any of the public coming into the building. Without a doubt, the administration building is going to be the easiest for staff to continue providing the services that the board is used to. However, the downside to the administration building is we are somewhat space limited. If we are doing, continuing the 6 feet of separation, the administration building will work if we use the hybrid model, where some of the commissioners are in the building and some are connecting via Zoom. If the desire is to get all 12 into one room, we need to be looking at the Napier site.
Well, I'm up
Yeah,
for
Brian.
rotation, half and half or whatever. I mean, to get this 6 foot. They're kind of, we're not, I don't know what the new norm's gonna be like. At that point, we don't know. Things are gonna change. I mean, we've done things a lot different, like sanitation, the things that they have to do, but we're gonna have to start somewhere doing something. Until the internet get much better, I kind of think that, we're gonna have some issues. I've been having some issues with my computer and the internet. And just like Dave just had some, I think Dave is having some at the point. So if we can do a rotation, I think that will kind of help. And also it would be easier on our staff to be right where we was.
Well, I think, Brian, if it's possible to put together a couple different scenarios for us to evaluate or to look at. And I would say the goal is to have our meetings in the administration conference room where you're sitting right now. I'm not really in favor of going out to the health department and using the conference room out there for a variety of different issues that come up in using that room. So I think in order for us to try to achieve the goal of meeting in person in the administration building in our regular conference room, to put together a couple different scenarios under the current state and CDC guidelines, what we could do and how we would do it. I think it's a little premature at this point to say, well, we're going to shoot for June to have this when we're not even sure, what we're going to do. So I would like to see us, I guess, start down that path. And I think the first step in that path is, okay, if we have it in the conference room, in the administration building next Thursday, what does it look like? And we can evaluate that information and go from there.
May I say something, Jim?
Most certainly.
Hey, if there's any thoughts of being outdoors for a meeting, you're going to have a backup plan, because weather always is involved. And after 18 years on the school board, planning anything outdoors, you can get thrown off at the last minute. And I don't think that would be a good option unless we got someplace we can go at the last minute.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a whole lot of discussion about holding an outdoor meeting.
I've
Because
heard,
the logistics and all the other things that go with it, so.
yeah,
But I don't think that's been discussed at this point.
okay.
Another question for you, Brian. Do we know on the new back to normal plan, at what point in that plan spacing or these kinds of meetings will change? Or is it at the end? Is it at that final step?
So I will look up the back to normal plan. I'll send it out to the admin committee in the next few minutes. The spacing is the real monkey wrench that we're dealing with. And the spacing rules just hit, I believe, on Wednesday of this week. So up until Wednesday of this week, quarantine rules for public schools were if you were within 6 feet of a confirmed COVID patient or carrier, if you were within 6 feet, you were forced into quarantine. That, on Wednesday afternoon, was then modified down to 3 feet. And so with that change, it just, I mean, logically, it opens up more square footage. So our ability to hold, right now, we can comfortably hold between probably, I don't know, 10 to 12 people in this room. If we go from 6 feet to 3 feet, our number is going to jump up quite a bit.
Great.
And I think that's part of the information I'm looking for. You know, you figure that all of us, the clerk, there's always some support staff in there. So if you start with a number of 15 just from us, you know, what does that occupy? What does that leave available to the public? All those kind of things, so that we can look at the information and evaluate it, try to come up with a good conclusion or solution.
Hey, Jim?
Yes.
If we had a plan where we had you all in the admin building, but we were separating with the use of some of the conference rooms, is that a scenario that you all would be interested in taking a look at?
I don't believe that's the goal. I think the goal is to get us all together back in one room meeting.
Okay.
Putting 2 or 3 of us in each conference room, you might as well put 2 or 3 of us at home. You know, what's the difference? It's not going to be the same. I think the goal is to get us all back together so we can have our normal meeting, unless I'm missing the point.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, if I may, but we would be in one building, and then the committee meetings, we could go back to that regular agenda as well.
Okay, that's not exactly what Brian said, but I would agree that once we start meeting in person again, that we do go back to our normal schedule of having our parent committee meetings in the morning prior to, and then going back to a fairly normal schedule. But I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure what that looks like. And what Brian was proposing was to use those conference rooms for the commissioners instead of being present in the conference room, the big conference room. And I said, what's the difference? You might as well be home, you know? So I didn't particularly care for that idea.
The other addition that you have to take into consideration, and if you're wanting to go back to having your regular committee meetings in addition to your board meeting on Thursday morning, if you're in person and we're still streaming, we can only stream one committee meeting at a time. So we would have to alter the times of the committee meetings, probably alter the time that they can be held, more of a time block versus you just start it and then it ends when it ends. And then also, if you're trying to do all of those on a Thursday morning, it may be necessary to bump out the Board of Commissioners meeting a little bit later to accommodate that as well. Just a thought.
Well, but again, I think the goal is to have those meetings in person normally like we had in the past. we wouldn't be streaming any meetings at that point.
So, so you're saying going back to full commission and open to the public?
Yeah, I think that's what the goal is. Am I wrong? Julie or Don or Dave, am I wrong? Is that what we're trying to achieve here?
I mean, ultimately, I think that is the case, but I think getting at least commissioners in a room and still being able to stream, like Annette said, is, is still an option, the hybrid model. But you're right, Annette, you can't do them all at once because you can't stream them all at once.
Okay, then I guess I'll put that down as an option.
Mr. Chair. So here's what I propose that we do. Between myself and Annette, we will try to chart out 6 feet versus 3 feet of separation. We will determine how many people we can comfortably fit using the 6 feet of separation, using the 3 feet of separation. We'll come back with a recommendation on what we think is the ideal way to bring the commissioners back. Additionally, I will send out the back to normal plan to the admin committee to take a look at. I will also follow up with an email to our health department to see if there is any discussion at the state level about that 3 feet versus 6 feet as becoming the new normal. It's just been rolled out to the schools in the last day. And hopefully we can get some clarification on whether or not that's coming as the new standard for indoor gatherings. That 6 feet versus 3 feet of separation question is the question that we really need to key on, because that's going to really determine how many people can be in this building versus the conference room.
Okay, I'd appreciate if you could put that information together for us, Brian. We'll take it. Okay. Okay, anything else on that topic? Okay, Annette, how about public comments?
No, you don't have any public comments, you're good.
Okay, anything else before the admin committee? Anything else from any members? Well, that looks like Stephanie that just came in. Good morning, Stephanie.
Morning.
So now that Stephanie's here, we'll adjourn. We'll get out of the room. All right, everyone have a good day. We'll see some of you in a couple hours.
Brian, can you hear me still?
Yes, sir.
Brian? I'm gonna come
Yes.
down for the 10:30 meeting and bring my computer.
Good. That sounds like a good plan.
So I'll be there in about an